Hello, everyone. Good time zone to you. Welcome. We're going to hit up a premiere draft of Midnight Hunt here per chat. People, of course, asking where I'm at on the format. What are my takes? What are my big pieces of advice? If you are behind the curve, even farther behind me, I'll catch you up a little bit. The community has started to solve the format in terms of realizing that blue-black is the most powerful color pair, black being the most powerful color because of its incredible depth of removal and playable creatures at common and uncommon especially. The werewolf deck is kind of a trap. I tried it multiple times and failed badly. I've never really, the best I've done with werewolves is like middling, and that's when it really hums. It just feels like not only is it tough to do the thing with werewolves, which is to get a lot of them, keep it nighttime, and make those nighttime effects really work for you. There are anti-night and day mechanics in this set. It's already hard enough to plow through all the removal that's just picking off. You got high quality removal, picking off your big werewolves, and then they draw more cards, and then what? You just fall behind in the attrition war. So watch out for green-red werewolves. It feels pretty trappy, and look for blue and black to be open, like most of the black decks. I've had trouble making black-red vampires work, but it feels like it could be there. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience, but I'm definitely looking to be in Dimir or starting in one of those two colors, because if you can start in blue or black, then you can bank into a bunch of different decks that I consider tier 2 behind blue-black, but are still functional and good. A deck I haven't played yet is, for example, in this camp is blue-green. I'd like to find my way into blue-green sometime and see how that hums. Yeah, white as a starting place is interesting. I have not had success white-red yet, but white-blue has been very good for me, and white-black has been good for me. White-green, I guess, okay, which is where it would deviate, because white-blue and white-black, you can land in with the whole start blue-black plan, but white-green has had some good runs for me, too. So, but yeah, I think that's a good baseline, right, Pablo? Just try not to start red-green. I even, to try and force that issue last night, in a offline or off-air draft, passed a pack one, pick one, burn the house down, or burn down the house, because I played a bunch of it that day, and I wanted to see if I really should avoid red that hard. And then I think I ended up in red anyway, because the table just didn't want it, and ended up, I don't think I've played it out, but I think I'm vampires there now. Anyway, moving on, clumsy transition, but I'm going to mention my sponsor, cardkingdom.com, as we head into draft mode here. Let's get into the draft view. Click on the old button, see how long it takes here. Hopefully, it will take about as long as it gets for a Card Kingdom order to arrive at your door. And indeed, it did. About as fast as Card Kingdom shipping right there. Check them out for all of your needs. Use the affiliate links and let them know you got there from here. This was my pack one, pick one of the first draft I did of the format, which was a test draft. I never played it. I just test drafted before the set was available. And now this just feels like, yeah, especially knowing how good black is. I wasn't sure how often this was going to fire when I first looked at it. It was obviously good, but I didn't know how good. But really, black's removal is so good, this card seems just great, because I'm just, guess what? She works well with removal. Let's take that. Yeah, I mean, a 4/4 for 4 that just is kind of must kill, right? I mean, sure, and sometimes you're going to kill it. Again, the removal in this set is great, but let's make him kill her, and we'll try to play this on 6 with a 2-mana removal spell up. Yeah, this is a reasonable follow. I wish we had a better follow. This is fine, but not really where I want to be second pick. But there's nothing better here. I'm not going to take a green card if I don't have to yet. I want to carve out a lane and really fight for the black or the blue. I really do like the amalgam as well, but we don't need to take it here. And yeah, this just doesn't really get there, because I mean, decayed tokens are useful, but boy, you have really got to be doing stuff with decayed tokens before I think you want this. Like, it really has to be a build around, and then it's like a build around C. Media effectively saying that by calling it a, you know, it's a black-white card. It belongs in a very specific deck, right? Graph Keeper is pretty good, but not in our colors. We could take a Burn the Accursed, but really you could make a play on blue. Yeah, there's either Graph Keeper spec or just try to get the deck, right? Do the Luis and force this a bit and see where we end up. Yeah, the blue-white deck is strong enough that we could take it. Burn, I'm trying to avoid red, but we could take it as well. I really want to play Gissa. I'm kind of marrying her a bit here, which is why I want to take Burn or the Amalgam. I guess I took Burn. Now we're going to take Midnight Ambush. I'm really trying to play this card. I mean, black is the best color, and this is a great card if we can get her going. So I'm going to take the ambush here, and we'll see about this Burn. I don't know if it makes the final cut. We don't know where we're at color-wise. Blue seems very cut off here. We take Trapper, and maybe we do end up in white-black. Media says blue's the best color. I think the depth of removal makes me like black more, but it's close. Yeah, we can grab Crawl here too. But I agree we'll see more is the thing. So I kind of feel like stretching a bit. This is doable too, although it's not really where you want your card draw to be, I find, in the format, right? You want your card draw to be in the blue zombie 4-drop. Yeah, white's starting to look openish. I think Outrider is definitely worth it here. Sprout could be a play as well. But with a Trapper already and white seeming a little bit open, we'll take the Outrider. You like Sanctifier, huh? I haven't been impressed by it. I mean, I'd run it. It's a 3-2 for 3. There's nothing wrong with that. I just haven't been, like, impressed by it. Here, I think we go ahead and take Candle Trap. Silver Bolt. Yeah, that's a playable, but with black, I just prefer to try to find black removal. Really like black over Exile. I mean, really? It's the same thing, but I guess it's harder to, you don't guarantee the exile. That's fair. All right, well, I'll trust chat. This is where I gotta also be a listener. I've acknowledged that a lot of folks in chat have actually played more of this format than me, and I do better if I open my ears and listen a little bit in these spots as well. I think this is a pretty clear search party. This, I want to be better, like... But, like, yeah, it goes away. Not, you know, if we were in the vampire deck, I'd give it a try, but this is a nice search party. Media, I'm not even considering... Well, let me ask you this, Media. Let's say that the exile clause on the that aura was not dependent on Coven. If it was just pay 3 at some point, exile, would you like that or Bolt better? Because if you still like Bolt better at that point, then I think we just disagree. I mean, I like 4-mana installment plan exile over 4-mana installment plan deal 3, right? Why? by far. That's fascinating. No Way Out or a Crawl. We're going to take Crawl. None of this is getting played. We will cut a black card. I don't know. Is there, I guess, I don't know. Is there some way, some possibility we somehow, if we somehow got forced into aggressive red-black, we might play this. Same with Immolation. Commando seems good for us. Great late pick. Yeah, it's possible I avoided green to my detriment, but I think white has been pretty open here. Let's see how... I mean, we're only pack 1. We got a Cathar Commando, you know, nth pick or whatever. Let's see how this goes. You think this is a great trick? Ugh. I guess this seems fine. Fine, but just because it's like a 2-for-1, but gosh, maybe Awakener is better. Silversmith too, yeah. It's hard to pass these golds in your colors, but I think Awakener I like. I'm gonna take the Awakener. Chaplain is fine. Chaplain in black-white is interesting because you get access to the Poison Blade combo. What is it called? I can't remember anything anymore. Death Touch instant, though. You know what I mean. It's got Blade in it. Blade brand. I knew it had Blade in it. Awakener and Search Party Captain jump out at me. I might try Call again on the wheel. We do like expendable, sacrificable creatures in this type of deck. And Call is Fenner. I feel like you get locked, like, you gotta see the full texture of the card. I mean, awful is just such a bad descriptor for the card. It's a high-risk, high-gain card. If it's not answered by an opponent, it spits out an endless army, go-wide army. If it gets answered quickly, you've been 2-for-1'd. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna take a Blade over the Trapper. I don't know if a creature every turn is low gain. I'd give you medium, which is why I think it's like, you know, you got to make sure your deck actually wants the effect. But calling it awful, I think, just doesn't describe what its job is. I'd rather be job-oriented about it. Candlegrove Witch. Well, trappers get worse in multiples. There's only so many 2-mana effects you have. And I am, yeah, I guess we have enough. Well, oh no, we actually are pretty low on 2s. We got some 1s, but I do want to fill out the 2s more. We're not exactly high on 3s either, but that's a pretty medium one. Here's a 3 I love. Let me be clear. I wanted to have a job. In heavy sacrifice decks, that has a job that could make the reward of the risk you're taking worth it. If you've got 5 Ecstatic Awakeners, suddenly throw in, you know, make it an aura that throws a bunch of expendables around is pretty reasonable. Do we want a trick or a weirdo 3-drop? Well, I guess we took a trick. I didn't even see how much time we had there. We're going to take... Ooh, this is an interesting one. Dawn Guard or Loyal Griff. 3 drops, both. This one's easier to cast and flies. What kind of ETB do we have? Do we want to repeat ETB? We don't seem to have a ton of ETB. I guess we have Search Party Captains. I took the Dawn Guard. I mean, this can get you card advantage if day-night flips. I mean, it just randomly gets you cards. It's the 2 white. If this were a single white, I don't think it would have been very close, or it would have been not as close, but the double white's a real cost here. Yeah, exactly. That's another good point. If you take the call, the 1/1 puker, and you just throw it on a zombie token. If your opponent kills it, they've effectively 1-for-1'd. Farmers seem good if you're in green, and we absolutely could have been, but this lane seems open too. I got excited. I saw a white rare, but it's a curse. These are rarely good. Yeah, it's not for us. We can make the whole Cathar's Call deck. Infernal Grasp with the premium removal. Hopefully wheeling a Blade Brand or a Witch. 5 mana Howling Mine is not super impressive to me. And it's not a Howling Mine, right? Personal Howling Mine, right? It's fine, but it's not a priority. We had an opportunity to take it, and if it had come at the right spot, I would have played it. But the 5 mana Personal Howling Mine is like, fine. It's again at high risk, high gain. You end up against something aggressive, and it could be a real liability. But you end up in a long game, and it's going to win you the game. So a lot of these cards have matchup dependent ways in which they play out. Scob Wrangler here is sad. We'll just take a 2. There's nothing else to take. Not taking Rotten Reunion or a weak 4-drop. There's a Bolt, I guess, but our removal is solid. And we want the 2s. Here's more solid removal. There is a Siege Zombie. Are we at a place where we actually just want the Siege Zombie more than the premium removal? I don't know if we're doing that many. Yeah, we're okay on creatures. 1, 2, 3. Not many 2-drop creatures, though. We probably should take the creature. Well, we have a lot of 1s, though. We do have a lot of 1s. Yeah, if we taken those Cathar's Calls, we could take the Siege Zombie, right? I'll go with another Dawn Guard over Candle Trap. Oh, nice. Late Silversmith for us, by my standards here. This is a gift. Get in here. Ooh, speaking of gifts. Here's enchantment-based removal we can agree on, right, Fenor? Media? My critics? It's got the same, watch out. They can kill it at instant speed and it'll bring that thing back, but we're going to take it. Another Smith. Great finish here. I like it more than the Cathars and the Sanctifier. The last 3 picks here have really kind of brought this deck together. Another Sanctifier to consider, but I don't know if this one makes the cut at 27 playables. I'd rather play another Blade Brand. Maybe the Blade Brand number 2 doesn't make it over the Outlaw, but I don't think that Outlaw makes it either. I guess I'll take it for variety, but because I don't think I want 2 Blade Brands in the deck. Just one will be fine. But I don't think I'm playing this one either, or this. Hungry for More comes back again. Looks like the green-blue deck was maybe there too, although the blue was not open. I've never seen anybody play the Mask. It just doesn't feel like a card's worth of equipment there. It's like, I like the white equipments with flash that can kind of quasi combat trick are interesting, but like this just is never going to be yeah, this is a 16 lander, right? We top at 4 and we've got 2 silversmiths. So we're cutting a land, and then we are looking at our split. We can make cuts from anywhere and not feel like we're skimping on something. Oops, let's do it this way. So, worst cards. Trapper number 2 is significantly worse than Trapper number 1. Flare of Faith number 2 may be excessive. I want 1 Blade Brand. I'm gonna run the 1. Not cutting my 2s or my 1s. Is there... Like, Ritual Guardian is pretty whatever. I think we can cut that. These are going to be... This is going to be a 3 for us. I think I'm on 1 Trapper. They're really bad in multiple... not really bad, but I never found myself like, sweet! Now I can tap 2 things. It's like, I can't really use 2 of these right now. That's true. They are good Covenant enablers. I'll give you that. And maybe like one of these flares. Cut a combat trick. And I'll have a flare and a Blade Brand as the combat tricks I keep. Let's try this. So why do we like it? I'll say why I don't like it, and you can convince me why to give it a try. Or do we like? So I've been off of this card. First, it's never done anything against me. Somebody used it against me in the gauntlet, and it was like not good. I don't like combat tricks that are not trying to win combat; they're trying to lose combat. So you're trying to trade up, gain some life, and accept that. So I'm taking my creature. So I got some creature, and you've got your creature, and they're going to bounce or trade in combat. I mean, obviously they're going to trade because maybe it was going to be eaten. And then so I was going to get eaten, and instead of getting eaten, you're going to compare this to Feign Death? Feign Death returned, when I Feign Death a 6 mana 4/4 dragon, it gave me back a 4/4 dragon and dealt a 5/5 dragon and dealt 4 damage to my opponent. That is not what Blessed Defiance would do. So you want to compare this to Blade Brand? Well, if this said draw a card on it, I'd be with you. Do you know that Blade Brand says draw a card? Like, so you would choose a 1/1 flyer. I mean, the card you're drawing here is a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. I don't think that's a full card. So, like, Blade Brand draws me a full card, and Blessed Defiance says draw and cast a weak partial card. And I just like Blade Brand a lot better than this. And Blade Brand kills it. This gives Death Touch. I can block your 12/12 with my 1/1, and I get there. Blocking your 12/12 with the 1/1, and then Blessed Defiance doesn't get there. So that's why I don't like it. Now, what are you telling me it's doing for us that I should play it? Like, what am I happy? Like, give me the scenarios where I'm happy. Like, because mostly I feel like I'm trading my creature and my spell for your creature and a 1/1, and it just doesn't seem like a good trade. That feels like my opponent's getting the best of the deal. So, yeah, I'm sticking by it. I'm not convinced. I mean, you can try and convince me as we go, but I want to start playing. So I'm going to say not convinced, but keep working on me. Maybe by the end I'll give it I'll give it a shot or something. We'll try it later. Outlaw over what? Outlaw's another one where I'm just like, I don't know, it doesn't really do that much. I'm not giving up my Blade Brand. Crawl is maybe a possibility, but Crawl gets us back Bomb. Yes, you should. I should acknowledge that it casts you the spell 1/1 and 1/1 flyer and gain some life. That's fair. It's not, but I still feel like I'm a little behind in that exchange in general. It's not a blowout exchange, but I'm feeling in general, in the abstract, on average, a little behind in those exchanges. This is just kind of how our deck played out. Panther's asking why our curve is so low, because I didn't find any 5s or 6s worth drafting at the points in which they were available. It is somewhat the nature of the archetype, but for example, if we had some the common 5 mana, what is it, 3/4, that the what do they call it, Grave Titan at Home, or Gravy Tea's kid cousin. That, like, if I had that, I'd happily play it. We just didn't see any at the right times. So mostly, but also, you know, things like I didn't take would be like the 3/4 flyer for 5 that didn't do much else. I had many opportunities at that card, didn't take it because it never felt like it was going to make my deck. And if I had one, I don't think I'd be running it over anything here. So now we're just on I'm going to get going so we can get playing. But like a final consideration was Arrogant Outlaw over something else. If you think it should be something else, you can imagine what you would cut and see if we draw it. Let's use Arrogant, because we're all Arrogant. I don't know, nothing's coming to me. Arrogant Outlier's okay. But not good enough. How about Midnight Ambush? Zombie, we got Silversmith, Silver Metal. Again, I just want to get going here. Let's play. Not worry too much more about this name. Get to the battlefield. Do a par poll. And update this stuff. Deck looks fine. To me. Let's see how it plays. Keepable. Boy, my computer is complaining today. What process has got you down? I have too many Firefox windows open. Probably. One second here. No, I'm trying to close Excel windows, not open them. All right, good. Found a third land. Nothing to do on 2 here, unless they play something worth ambushing. But glad we got a third land. Now we can zombie. Is that worth ambushing? We are hopefully busy for the next handful of turns between Zombie and Silversmith. So, yeah, I'm going to use my mana, as Fenor is saying. This is what Outlaw's done for me. That's why I don't like it that much. I just feel like I play it so often as a 3-2 for 3 that's like, whatever. Whatever. No attacks. We'll hold up the ambush. We'll go ahead and try to trade off here. This zombie's born to die anyway. And it's like green-red. I'm sorry, it's black-red, so I'm not expecting massive beasts from here, per se. I mean, red and black both have some big creatures. But if it were green, like, I'd worry that it would gonna be a steady parade of them coming up. I mean, there's a big-ish creature right there. Might as well tap it down. All right. Perfect. Found some land. I could Silversmith and throw a counter on the Trapper, and that's not the absolute worst, but I'd rather just Dawnguard here, and then we can get a counter on the Dawnguard and the Silversmith, and that's a much better looking board. And double Silversmith is interesting there, too. But yeah, I'm going to start here. And then we'll Silversmith it from here. Although, yeah, if we find a land, we might wish we had Dawnguard ambush up. There is that. So I am kind of denying myself that sequencing, or Trapper-based sequencing. But I don't know if we want... Yeah, I kind of want this to just trade off, threaten to trade here anyway. Although I'm probably going to take it because of the whole Silversmith follow. Although one reason not to is that even as a 4-4, it still just trades with the Foragers. So it's not like a counter here helps. So yeah, I want to chain Smiths effectively, and if we took a couple, we could eventually make this a 5-5. Yeah, I mean, there's tricks, but I'm not too worried about tricks unless it creates a 2-1 blowout potential. And so if they have a trick that that allows them to win combat, okay, well, we got a card out of their hand. That's fine. We're going to block here and try to make the trade. That's pretty good. They spent their turn rummaging. Well, rummaging and playing a 1-drop, I guess. We found 5th land. But I'm going to start the chain of Silversmiths. And actually against this, well, I guess a 1-3 doesn't really stop it because the threat of activation is still real. But a 2-4 would. So turning the Trapper into a 2-4 doesn't really suck. Isn't the card advantage given by the Dawnguard worth to not throw it away? Well, you have to ask yourself, what's your plan that, like, okay, so then my plan would be take it and then trade off here. I suppose that could have been the plan. It's just that I didn't want to take, I had to trade with the Foragers eventually. I went with the one I had. I'm not too worried about extracting a bunch of value from this. If it comes late and it's happening in that phase of the game, that's fine. But generally when I'm playing a card with tough to, not easy to extract value that has a straight exchange like that, if I think I'm going to win the long game, I'll go ahead and take that trade. And with a Trapper and double Silversmith and more removal behind, I felt it was okay to take that trade. Now the Stinger here has double activation threat, and we don't have the ambush up, so we're going to go ahead and take it. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm right, Panther. That's what I was thinking about. But you could be correct, you know? Ooh, tough call. Brutal spell. This is what I feel like. It's just like sometimes this format just hits you with some gut punches. Removal or Silversmith. This removal eventually takes out this 3-4 flyer. But Smith makes a 4/5 and a 3/4 ground creature that, yeah, we do have a tapper on board. So that's where I like getting rid of the ambush and getting aggressive. I'm going to ditch the ambush. And with the land draw, we were in a spot where if we get a land, we get tapper plus Smith, and if we don't, we get action. Either of those was going to be pretty good as well. And for now, we actually get to create a good attack here, like so. And then the question is, do we want a 1/2/4 trapper? I think we spread it around because we're going to start using this to trap. What are we complaining about still? Firefox. Come on, computer. It's not that bad. Chugging like you're out of shape. Oh yeah, I was over here trying to correct this. Wow, I interacted with Streamlabs and my computer freaked out, so there's that. Well, they get it again. I'm not gonna... The threat of activation there is real. Wow, that's the first time I've seen this do anything. And we got lucky with a nice fallback card, and we're going to take out that... Actually, we can do it after combat. I'm going to send in the clowns here. And then show that the race is actually looking pretty good for me by taking out the collector. Of course, black-red doesn't have good enchantment removal, which is good, because I wouldn't want them to kill the borrowed time and re-trigger Blood Tithe collector. Although it wouldn't hurt me right now. Yeah, I don't even have that many windows open. My computer is sad. There's the other one. And should start to be pretty good for us. I'm gonna... Really, we send now, and if they want to chump the 2/2, that's good for us. So we're gonna do it. Just send everything. I think it's a little greedy to try to extract not cast this to try to get value when we're racing from 4 to 0. We just need to pile on. Now they've only got one. Oh, okay, they've got 2 pumps on defense, but I can take out one of these. They don't get first strike on defense. This is fine. This is a nice draw, but basically we still get to... we could swing away with everything, and then they're looking to crack back for the win. I don't want to lose to top deck removal, but I also want to force them to block both. Nothing has vigilance here, right? So... Because if we only send 2, they could chump with the ambusher, take, and then send both of these. Well, then they need removal and that, so that all seems fine. I think we send 2, hold back. Yeah, we need 2 blockers, but we don't need 3. That's the main thing. So I'm going to send in these 2, so they can't. There's no double blocks that get them. And then we'll Awakener. And Awakener becomes interesting because they have to decide where to pump. They can just take the Awakener out, but if we put Dawn Guard on the Stinger, then and they pump, we can eat it and make a big Awakener. All right, so that is, we can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do draw a card, and, well, we still get the chump, so this should be fine. And I'm actually going to let it happen. Oh, no, so, sorry, there's some of these that say it can't block. I wanted to be sure we could still block. Sure, I'll do this, because then we get to draw a card, too. Oh, yeah, we can trick Sack a Smith. Yeah, let's Sack a Smith. I like it. Sack a tapped card. 2 blockers. Something about having invested counters into the creature made me not want to sacrifice it, but it's correct there to do that. Hopefully I didn't put myself in range of some 4 damage spell. Nice, we'll take that. Decent draw here from Oppo with the 6/5, because now we can only get past for 3 if they eat and block, and then they can crack back for the win. Let's see, what do we got in here? Yeah, Silversmith gets it done though, right? Crawl for the Smith, I like it. I was just going to go check the graveyard for what we can do, and Crawl seems like it gets it done. Up to 1 zombie. We don't have zombies, right? That's not a zombie. Submit 0. Now we've got the full lethals. So, that, I mean, I don't know, is this format good? Was that fun? Was that interesting? Like, we had a good game. There's back and forth. We could have lost. They made some good plays to keep it close. So, I don't know. I'm feeling like the format is producing some good gameplay experiences. I think that was one. Outcome was unknown till the very end, basically. Some swings of fortune and advantage. No white yet, but we're going to keep this on the strength of Awakener and Bladebrand and Crawl. Wrong kind of land. We'd love one of them planes if you're going to deal us some more land there, deck. Might need to Bladebrand for looking for planes. Can send this though. Too bad. Found a planes we'd be curving out right now. It'd be great. Well, now I'm gonna wait. All right, we found our own zombie. Let's do that. That's gonna go well with the Awakener if we can trade off this zombie and get an expendable. Planes off the top would be just a lovely gift. Nope, says the Magic Gods. You think I can get a trade out of the Hobbling Zombie? Probably not. But maybe I'll send both. And then maybe I Bladebrand. I don't think they block either if I send both. And then if they block one, I get to Awaken, and that's good for us. I think we draw a card and and win combat. Oh, I guess it's Death Touch. So maybe they might put me in a spot where I have to Blade Brand my Awakener and give up on that value. Maybe I don't want to send the Awakener. I'm changing my mind. I was thinking I could make this big and then it would live. But what I was thinking is if I sent 2 and then Blade Brand and we found a Plains, we could actually play Search Party Captain. That was the line I was thinking we could potentially get to here. I suppose the backup plan is Blade Brand, kill this, and draw a card and crawl like the Awakener back. Interesting spot, though. Yeah, I'm not sure what's correct here, given our lack of white. I think I probably just want to play Blade Brand this turn, so I'm going to make that offer. At least have a backup plan. There's the Plains. And there's the Captain play. So it did work out exactly as I hoped. Except for the fact that in order to pull that off, I had to give up on immediate Awakener value. But the crawl makes me think we can make this a thing, because I can even put a counter on the zombie, get this back. There's your Mythic Common. We can 2-spell here now. We can play the Outrider and start offering up trades. Outrider blocks the Hoarder, so I like that. We're going to have to kill this eventually, but we don't have the tools yet. I guess Trapper starts that process, but we have time. I'm going to go Outrider attack right now. What's this? Flying and lifelink. Whenever it dies, you may pay X life where X is its power. If you do, draw X cards. Whoa. Yeah, that seems good on a zombie like that. Especially with you gaining the life to enable that. So now I really want the Trapper down so that we can nullify the mask and its effects. And I'm going to use my white on that, and then that gives me 4 extra mana. Do I need any of it pre-combat? Nothing pre. I'm going to send everything but the Outrider again. Yes! Yes! So, spread it around or make a big Outrider. I'm going to spread it around because right now I'm going to crawl the Awakener. It's funny, I'm going to kill this zombie, but sure, we'll give it a counter. Oh, I said I was going to do Trapper, but I got all excited about the Awakener play. So yeah, I still could. We could do this later. I just go shields down on this. We could also go zombie. Yeah, we can wait. Now I'll wait on this, and we'll do the control, and we'll put the Awakener at risk here for a turn. Which then, so then the question is, Trapper to set up trapping, or just now trapping. We're gonna do this next turn, so that would take up all of our mana, but it would be fine. All right, I'm gonna do it. Let's play the Tapper. I don't like leaving the mana fallow, but I didn't plan my turn well there, and that's the cost. Like, if I go back and rethink the Trapper play, if I'm definitely playing the Trapper, I probably just hold off on the whole Awakener play until, like, we go Trapper Zombie, and then we can put a counter on the zombie that matters. So that's what I would have done. Beastly card makes me nervous about our chances here. But Zombie at least can give us some death touch while Trapper stops us from dying in the air. More mana is good here. We're a bit choked. So I'm going to now play this, and then we have Chaplain as well, and still have taps. The Awakener play continues to be on hold, but we're making progress. Might even set up a win here if we tap. Let's see what Oppo does with their 6 mana and 5 cards, though. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I mean, they could hook up the mask on the Dreadhound and threaten to draw 8. Of course, they have to pay the life, so that's not the worst either. Anyway, Endless Organ Hoarders, though, we're just going to lose to. This card is so good. You like Divination, huh? Well, for 1 more mana, instead of drawing 2 cards, we'll give you one of them as a 3/2, and the other one is the best of your top 3. How about that? And then if you happen to have graveyard value on top, whew, yeah, Oppo's deck is showing the strength of blue-black, frankly. I said it wasn't going to be as simple as tap, win, and Oppo just absolute 3 spells us, one of them a 2-for-1. I mean, what do we do here? We do have Crawl from the cellar. We could get back we could get back the Hobbling Zombie. 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, 5 if we want to trap, 2 if we want to awaken. So maybe Candlegrove. And we actually have, we start to attack back the other way here with Candlegrove. Do we yeah, we don't really have attacks until we want to drop the Dreadhound and just swing away, and we're not there yet, right? If we do that, it's not good enough. So we'll hold up 5 here for Awakener Trapper. But here's where Siege Zombie starts to show its value as well. In a stalemate, you're just losing. Well, they keep not bothering to move the mask, so we can continue to tap the flyer as long as that's the play. Is there something we want to redraw? Like we could awaken away something like Search Party Captain so that we can get a card out of it again. I don't know if that's worth it, but I'm thinking in terms of, is there something besides an expendable we want to sacrifice to this because of the Crawl? We could sacrifice Chaplain and then get a flying First Striker that takes care of the Gale Drifter, for example. That seems worth it. So I think we sack the Chaplain so that we can get it up in the air. That's kind of rough too, mainly because it gives them 2 biggies. We could handle 1. 2 is going to be rough, and now with some rare I got to read. Oh, this is the worst part of this game is I got to read this. Slaughter Specialist, 3/3 for 2. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a human token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a counter on the Specialist. So I'm going to sack the Chaplain now. And where do we want this counter? Could get Awakener up almost to the point where it can block and trade with a Dreadhound. That could be useful. Yeah, we need to win in the air, but we don't have... I can't put this on a flyer, so I'm just trying to figure out where this goes. Oh yeah, which flyer? Sorry, we do have a flyer. It's just not currently flying. Good call, we'll do that. Chaplain to hold off the Gale Drifter. Oh, we got our rare bomb. What can we do with it? We'll see. Do I need to do this now or post-combat? If we're just sending the Witch, there's no need to do this until after combat. This is one of those spots where the board is so crowded. I mean, I don't know. This is going to be really tough to overcome a siege zombie hitting us for 2 here. But we're close. It's going to be a close one again. A little bit brain-breaking. This gives us flying and flying first strike for the Gale Drifter and also a tap for one of the, like, the big menace. It leaves Glorious Resurrector off the board, but maybe that's okay here? I still don't see it, Fenor. Like, over... Nothing about this situation is making me wish I had been playing that card. But what do we do? Mike says go for the air first. It also does mean if they kill our Air Force, we have the crawl. Yeah, it's true. Instant speed mass kill with the commando. I wasn't even really thinking about it, but we have it. Yeah, that's true. Kali might be right. Like, we could just be dead to a Dreadhound-based swing away that could be problematic. So that's fair. We'll see. But now that I got a first strike flyer, we can, like, tap down the Behemoth and hopefully leave them with not enough to come in with. Well, let's see what they do with the mask. We don't have to do anything about the mask if they don't equip it. But I think that's especially the siege zombie getting us for 3 or 4 here is a big difference maker. All right, so they're going for the tap. Let's see what, or they're going for the trapper. So then we're going to let that happen so we can still do the commando, the mask play. But all rough. Yeah, fair point. I forgot it was exile. That helps a little. No, we have a plan. And putting on the Witch allows us to continue to, like, actually win the air. And keep putting it on the Witch. And then Zombie plus an Expendable gets the death done. This is going to get a little big, but it is what it is. Yeah, I might still just be dead, right? So it goes. We tried, Ma. I'm just kind of throwing counters around now because I don't think it matters. Siege Zombie coming through for Oppo. Well, I think Oppo's deck was better, so we made a good fight of it at least. Couple close ones. All right, a keep. We don't have anything to awaken yet, but we got a nice curve out. And Oppo mulliganing doesn't hurt. Cheers back to Brazil, Mario. Thank you for hanging. Well, if you're greeting from Norway, you gotta make them warm, right? Because you gotta do something about the cold. Does Norway have hot summers? Is Norway like Minnesota, like where it's like really cold in the winters but gets really warm in the summers? What are we doing here? We got a bolt, whatever. We're playing that. We're attacking. We could play our own bolt. It takes away flare and ambush, but I think I'm gonna do it. Well, I don't think... I think Minnesota summers are terrible. Like, I hate Minnesota summers. They're just oppressive and awful. Mainly, I was wondering if your summers, like Minnesota, are oppressive and awful. Sounds like they're much better. So, if I go... I can play the zombie. Bolt gets to choose a target, but I say go for it. You bolt which one you want. I'm not going to not play things here to play around that. I'm going to let them use their removal on one of these two expendable... Not expendables, but it's a fair trade. Like, whatever. Oh, or a flip the switch. Yeah, I went to school in Minnesota and didn't know what I was getting into with regards to the summers. In my head, Minnesota is just this really cold place, right? That's all ever. It's Fargo, you know. Not that Fargo's North Dakota, but like the movie Fargo takes place mostly in Minnesota, and I was so stunned to understand that it had a summer and what that summer was like. I mean, sure. Our deck is moving a little slow here, but I don't know what Oppo's up to, and I'm not currently afraid. If we flood anymore, I might be.
Oh, here comes the flood.
Yeah, I thought we might see another counter. Although if it's the same counter, we actually have the 4 mana this time. So flip the switch doesn't get it done there. Looks like they're being up to color screwed. Although, I don't know, maybe it could be mono blue, you never know. Some people do that. So 3 damage, we can +3 it, and it's a human, right? Let's save it. Might as well. All right, you get it this time. Mainly, if I'm the dude at Halloween, I'm gonna drink White Russians all night.
We will say goodbye to flesh and blood.
I know, I saw that. I didn't know you were making a joke about that. Yeah, I legit like White Russians. Although I don't drink much, but when I do, I like Greyhounds. Greyhounds are my drink of choice. Not like this deck. Come on. Come on. Not like this. Show me something. Okay, deck, like this. I get it. Change of plans. In fact, exactly like this. I could cycle around to the front of the flood memes. Maybe I can trick the magic gods by playing this meme.
Where are we going? To Neverland. Neverland.
Neverland.
Neverland.
Neverland.
Oh, but Neverland.
Or I can just lose badly with 2 damage and 3 damage removal against 2/4 toughness beasties. Well, play 3/4 so that we can at least bounce off of this and kill. I think we kind of have to. It stinks, but we can still fire off the bolt and the ambush, and it does. I mean, we're taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 next turn, potentially. We got to do this. Yeah, and it does let us use the ambush. And bolt. Either one. Probably do it with bolt, since it could become nighttime, and then this becomes kill anything. Although I don't know if we're ever making it nighttime. Yeah, I guess we do, our Gavany Dawn Guards do some night-day stuff. Still need more action or we're going to lose this one. Maybe we just need to kill the flyer here, and then, yeah, especially with, well, I guess Awakener, maybe we need to kill the Awakener and the flyer. Maybe we need to kill them both. But trouble is, I need to kill this flyer more than anything. Now I'm feeling like maybe I should just draw and see if all of 3 We move. Our deck tops at 4, so even if we draw our most expensive card, we can still literally do everything. So I'm going to just pass here and decide after we see our draw. Trapper is good to see, gives us an answer to the carriage long term, and then says we could take out the Awakener if we wanted to prevent that value from happening. And it is pretty good value, turning it into a 4/4 and drawing a card. Like, we're gonna need to kill it eventually anyway, so I like just kind of killing this now, killing the 1/1 or the 2/1 flyer, and then having the Trapper for the 4/4 and a ground game for the 3/4. Then that's technically. Yeah, we can take out Awakener when they activate it, true, make them, but it doesn't, but that's going to give them the card, right? That's what I didn't want to do. Even if we kill the Awakener in response, if we let him do the sacrifice another, they do get to draw a card. So I don't want him to do that. I'm going to hit it with the bolt. And then we have the ambush disguised. Oh, I should have, I forgot it had an ability. I thought it was just a 2/1. I should have fired that off before combat to avoid this loot. I've effectively let him draw a card here at this stage of the game. That's pretty bad. Watch him pitch an island here and make me feel silly. Yep, free card for Oppo. Good work, Ryan. But don't be ashamed of your mistakes. It happens. Like, don't not kill it because you wish you'd done it earlier. Yeah, probably should have just done it all while shields were down motion. Second Phantom Carriage is a tough pill to swallow here. We'll play the Awakener and at least have blocks, but now we're in, again, just a tough spot. We have blocks on the ground, at least. They can get us to 1. Not impressed with what Oppo was doing early. I mean, they were color screwed, but I mean, in terms of card quality, I wasn't impressed with what they were doing, really. But the card quality is caught up, shall we say. Looks like second loss incoming. Well, I've made good runs in the double losers brackets before. We'll have to try it again. At least they didn't... I think they should be attacking all and putting us to 1 here. But maybe they just don't feel they need to. How does Oppo have 1,200 cards more than us? I guess Phantom Carriages putting spells in the graveyard helps, huh? Kind of just dead. Trying to figure out if we need to actually, like, awaken away something to find some specific answer. Like, what's our plan? Borrowed Time is the answer here. Borrowed Time. Is that enough, though? I don't know if 1 card is enough. It might be Crawl. In which case we can, like... replay the Smith, maybe? I think we just go to my turn here. But there you go. That's a pretty appropriate finish. Searching for something besides a loss. But not gonna happen. Well... 1 and 2, both losses to blue-black. I'll see you in 7 weeks. Bye, everybody. I remember me on Thursday. Oh, me on Thursday. Thursday, Ryan had all sorts of hope for the format. Then Friday came. I kind of destroyed chat, which is not a brag as much as a observation. I kind of arbitrarily ended up in blue-black on Friday, and it was one of the easier 6-1s I had in Magic in a while. And so it's like, oh, blue-black is something. And then by Monday, it was like everybody was, not that I discovered anything, merely Friday is when I discovered that blue-black was like, whoa. And then it was reinforced by the community for the full weekend. A nice keep. Legit curve out. Give us a 4-drop. Nothing but action from here, please. Immediate land draw. You're so funny, Magic Gods. Is this real? Is this anything? I feel like it looks bad, but then sometimes it does stuff and seems good. Maybe it's fine in the Spirit deck than in the Disturbed deck. Got my 4, though. Nice curve. Good and blue-green, more value you can put in the graveyard that gives it a counter. Is there a lot of spirits in green? I didn't realize green was like a spirit color. Flashback, sure. But it doesn't trigger on flashback. I want the counter, that's the thing I'm saying. I don't know, I think like, I don't know. I think you want the counter. 1-2 is not good. 2-3 is very good. And the thing with discarding your double spells is you take away half their value. I was talking about this yesterday a little bit. I know it feels like you're doing it to pitch cards with graveyard value, and generally you should be looking for those opportunities. But I think sometimes it's overdone, and sometimes you just need to be holding on to those cards and getting both sides of the value out of it. Yeah, it's true. I did have a swing with Threat of Activation, Mike. Good call. Doesn't seem like it's open anymore, Jim. I felt like it was it was closing as soon as I was recognizing its power, which I guess is not surprising. Yeah, if this had, I mean, I don't want any more words on this card for a common, but just mechanically, if it had some sort of ability to expensively loot late, then I would like a little more so that you could keep it going. You know, you get the initial one that you can try to make it a 2/3 and then threaten to grow it later. Those are the two decks where people seem to dislike red the least, Jim. But I don't hear anybody singing the praises of white red or green red. Yeah, except this isn't a Smith, unfortunately. And more floody floods.
Oh, here comes the flood.
That being said, I will Outrider and send in the zombie. To be honest, Fenner, I haven't really played with or against white-red yet, so it's just kind of a hole in my personal experience. Yeah, I'd love a 2-drop next turn so that we can awaken and cast something. That would be, like, perfect. I think Conventional Wisdom has red-green at the bottom right now, Jim. The werewolves just feel like a trap. That's been my experience. I started on werewolves early and never had any success. And it's the removal suite and the tempo suite. Blue's got great tempo. Black has great removal. Red has decent removal, like even against itself. Anyway, I feel like when I've been playing red-green, I've just been watching other people play Magic until the inevitable. Really, I think that might be the first time I've seen this cast. It's not awful, it's just so super clunk, right? Hey, there's our 2-drop, and not bad either to get 2-drop removal. But now I'm going to send in Zombie. If I send in Zombie and Awakener, I'm kind of pot committed to sacking the Zombie. Do we want to do that? We're slowly losing to this if we don't. Yeah, that's true. Then we get to fly with the Witch as well. And we get to throw counters around. I guess it's worth it. I just don't like throwing away the card here, but we get one back too. It's all in all worth it. And with Midnight Ambush, we can send really everything. I'm going to leave the Outrider back. It looks better as a defender and doesn't betray our plan as much. But if they go for double blocks on the demon that aren't decisive, like if they don't overblock the demon, we get them. Oh, sorry. I'm yeah, still learning my memes. So don't fully get them because we only get -2/-2, but we get to save our demon. Because -2 will leave 5 toughness, which is just enough here. But we'll do it. What do we want dead? I think probably this one, though, is what we want dead. Anything else I'm missing? Keep me honest. Do we have a Woken Demon? No. I'm re-looking at this stuff here to make sure I missed this one already.
Hold on to your butt.
Missed this one already.
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain. Woo! We're gonna get it going here in just a few minutes.
I'm your party captain too. And
I think those are my only misses, though. Commando for surprise blocker. No power, not enough power here to take out the demon without some shenanigans. Maybe they have them, but we're going to make them have them. We could send in our zombie and know that with the Outrider, it gives us another counter somewhere. Although I got to be careful. If I put it on the Witch, we don't have a flying Witch anymore. Although I could drop in the Commando and that would cover that. Are we winning the race such that we could, with the Commando back especially, we could probably Commando to jump block the Sentry. I like sending everything at this point. including the 2/2. Let's turn it into you choose extra damage by getting wider or counter at the end of combat. Is it a chump or is there a trick coming? It could just be a chump because then it'll flip this. That's pretty good. All right, interesting. It resets the counter, but gives them another loot and a card draw, so I like it. It's tempo-y, tempo positive for Oppo, but we get some damage in. And that's not tempo positive, it's like more card draw positive and tempo negative, sorry. Tempo's a tough term to throw around. It's like, it can get misapplied, and I just misapplied it there. I am going to go with the flyer, even though it grounds it without a 3/3. I just think I still want it, because we got a lot of draws that make it fly anyway, and we get to decide whether we want to jump the commando in to block the sentry or not here. Oh, we're going to jump it in if we, because the 3 power would give us the flight. So the question is, do we want 3 power for the guaranteed flight, or do we want to trade? That's true. Very good point. If I do trade, I can still throw a counter on the witch, and then it becomes a 5/5 flyer, even better, although they're hovering it, as I say. So probably now not what we're going to do. Well, it is what we're going to do. We're going to block and kill the locked and not the sentry. As you all know, I think aura-based removal is largely unplayable. Yep. Flying again soon. Well, okay, as I say, they could have something to stop this, I suppose. We'll find out. Save 3. Bounce. Feels like another Geist wave coming or something here. We have put a lot of eggs on this basket, so if they can bounce it, it would be a good play. They go... We don't have this sack ability anymore. Can't... Be kind of interesting if you could keep paying 3 to sack and draw, but not very flavorful, I suppose. Well, it's action. 11 to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't die to a crackback without some additional action. So I'm going to go for full attacks, given the... with 3 power, they can't kill any of these. I'm even sending the... I guess that's a bounce block, but I guess I'm saying they can't chump. Maybe because there's a bounce block offered, I shouldn't have sent the Outrider. That's fair. I only looked at, like, could they kill me and am I applying max pressure? But the bounce block does suggest I probably should have just kept it back. They might be scared of it, thinking, but they don't really have choices, though, is the thing. It'd be more, you could argue it as some kind of a bluff if it was actually a spot where they could choose not to block it. But they don't really have that choice. No, but there is this. Maybe it'll get them to attack with the 2/3, or things they shouldn't be attacking with, and it'll work out. Well, Oppo in the tank is often a good thing. Sometimes they're figuring out which way to beat you. So it looks like the Outrider attack didn't actually cost me. They didn't attack with anything that they would have otherwise. I'm going to leave it back now. Same reasoning. Easy bounce block, but let's check. This isn't interaction. They can make some flying interaction if they... This is an instant, though, so they can make another flyer blocker. So if I send the Candle Grove here, they can double block and kill it. So I'll keep this back, and we're just going to send these two. Unless we thought it was... I mean, we might decide it's worth this 2/2 to get rid of 2 of their flyer blockers, because they're going to be chumping the Witch as well. I don't know. What do you think? You sending the 2/2 knowing that they could create a second bird and trade? Is clearing the air of birds worth it? Might be. They're going to get good card selection, so their next draw is likely to be pretty darn good. Obviously, we're sending the Witch and the Demon. We got to threaten lethal. And if we do that, then they're probably losing both birds, and then they're looking at... if we... then we're dead to removal-ish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... well, we're not exactly dead. One Rejuvenator, they got 2 creatures in the yard right now. So they block and put 3 in this flips. We are actually dead to removal. But I think we have to take the risk at this point. So I'm doing it. I've come close to milling, but haven't actually milled yet, in terms of milling myself out. And I'll play a land. This is where it's rough, though. This is going to be big. But not yet. Right now, we block it. And I said we'd be dead to 1 removal, and they had 1 removal, and we did. I took the risk. I felt it was correct. We took some risk, and they had it. Yeah, I don't know. This was the kind of result that was tilting me over the weekend, but now I'm just kind of used to again. I don't understand the how I'm doing the how I'm winning and losing exactly. I mean, the games were all pretty close. I'm already feeling like blue-black is a grown test pair of lands to see across the way if I'm not blue-black myself. We did flood quite a bit. There's no question about that. A couple of our losses were pretty floody. I used those memes a bit. That's going to happen, though. So again, I just, it doesn't, I don't know what I learned from this. I learned that this is not a bomb if you never see her but once and not enough time to make her work, you know? Yeah, what do we learn? I don't know. I just don't feel like I learned much. Yeah, you don't learn much from the flooding. That's why I'm trying to find some other lessons, trying to see what else we figured out when we weren't just flooding away. Midnight Ambush was mostly -2/-2. I don't think I've -13 to anything in a while. When I first started the format, I was always in werewolves, and Midnight Ambush was -13 to my whole team all the time. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought this was great early because it was -13ing everywhere, but when I've been playing it, it's not really been nighttime much. So it's but again, small sample size, I don't know. But yeah, instant speed is nice because you can win combat, it's true. It certainly seems like you need to continue playing your resources. The flood was particularly bad for us. This deck, I mean, how's this deck drawing cards? This deck's getting extra cards through Search Party Captain, Ecstatic Awakener, Crawl from the Cellar being a quasi 2-for-1, and then like technically Chaplain, Blade Brand. But I just feel like other decks are really getting more value than this. This obviously X million for one if you can get going with it. So I don't know. I thought the deck was okay. Certainly better than 1/3, but you never know. It needs mana, and it got too much of it. Yeah, and the way to beat removal is card draw, right? You can overcome removal if you can play the attrition game and outdraw them. And also, to that end, removal with card draw is really excellent, which is why in this format, blue-black has exemplified itself as the color pair to beat, because it's got incredible removal. It's got great card draw, not even in like the divination form. Again, it's got Organ Hoarder. You know, it's got other classic blue card draw. It's got even some black card draw. Although one of my decks, it was even the 1/3, and like one of the deck I drafted on at the end of the stream yesterday ended up 1/3ing partly because I was playing too much Pain. I had the uncommon deal 2, kill anything, and I had 2 of the deal 2, draw 2s, and it was just too much damage. I was way too low on life at sometimes with that. So anyway, this feels Dominaria-ish in that it feels like you need to really understand how you're getting ahead on cards and winning some late games. So maybe that blue curse is rising up a little bit in my estimation. But I haven't been wholly beaten down so fast that I feel like it's a beatdown format. I don't know, still learning. But the Boogie Monster is clearly blue-black. You think it's actively bad? I was saying it depended on the speed of the format, right? I mean, one way to take on cards or to assess how speed matters, I mean, it helps if you're a longtime player. I mean, this is just me showing that I'm a Magic boomer, but like the two formats that I hold up when thinking about things like the Blue Curse are Triple Zendikar, the fastest limited format of all time, versus M14, what I would argue is the slowest modern limited format of all time. If you go back to like Ice Age and try playing limited, that is a slow format. But if you're playing a format made for limited, those are the two extremes: Triple Zendikar and Triple M14. And you look at that curse card, in Triple Zendikar, the curse would be wildly unplayable. You would never touch it, and it would be considered an F. You would be losing if you played it. And in M14, it would be a strong first pick. It would be like, this is the kind of inevitability I'm talking about, right? So cards like that are just heavily speed dependent, and I think this is slowish enough that you could justify playing it, understanding that if Oppo gets to a fast start, you could find yourself losing with it in hand. I don't think so. Why is format speed an outdated term in modern limited design? When I talk about speed, I mean, every format you need speed in the sense of doing things early. There's no formats that say you can skip your early turns at this point. When I'm talking about speed, I'm talking about the speed of the game ending. And I think the speed of the game ending is very important to understand and plan around for any given format. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Doherty. Maybe you just mean speed as early plays, in which case I agree. Everybody needs to be making plays early, whether they're defensive or aggressive. I'm going to say farewell to YouTube friends, though. I've been yammering a bit here without actually saying goodbye. Hopefully a little post-event discussion, though, helped frame what we just did and helps frame what we need to do in the next draft, which I'll see you for. Bye.